Welcome to another Sunday morning conversation, everybody. Today, my guests are Brittany and Tiffany from Terra Running Company. They're out in Cleveland, Tennessee. It's kind of an interesting story, and what you don't know is we actually have a 6 degrees of Kevin baking going on that I will explain in the info below the video because it's just too hard for me to really do verbally. So thanks everybody for tuning in.
Hi, how are you?
So you're not going to believe this, but do you know what a doppelganger is?
Yeah.
I've met yours.
Yeah?
Yeah. Her name is Kelly, and she was in Atlanta and she moved to New Jersey. You look exactly alike.
Wow. Kelly's out there. You gotta hook us up on Facebook or something.
Yeah. I follow her on Instagram, so
Okay.
I'll have to send it to her.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Well, I'm not too bad. It's gonna rain here. I don't know if it's already raining up there.
Not yet. They said it's gonna rain all day and it hasn't. Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't up in Cleveland, but I was up in Chattanooga last weekend watching the race.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it rained. I was biking on the river walk for a little bit. I didn't make it all the way downtown to see everyone, but it was like the storm was rolling in, and I was like, oh my gosh. But I thought it was gonna storm in the morning, and it didn't.
And it didn't. So.
Yeah. Do you go down there a lot just to run and ride the river walk?
Yeah. Yep. It's just so nice. Starts at the dam, goes all the way downtown. So
yeah, me and my ex used to go up there for day trips and stuff and just hang out. That's actually how I came across you guys the one time, because I was in Cleveland when it was the year I did Storm the Ford. Was that last year? I can't remember. But yeah, I was killing time for a race that's out in the sticks. This one was in like Kingston, so I stayed east of 75 the day before, and I found this place called Sweetwater Valley Farms. I love their cheese. What's the other place? There was some winery. It was like Tasali, and then I came across you guys in Cleveland.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Like coming down.
Yeah, glad you did.
Are you two business partners now? Because I know you own. Are you part of this?
Well, I work for her.
Joined the team, I think last summer.
She never remembers when I started.
Honestly, just
about a year ago.
Yeah, a long time. It feels like forever. And she's the manager of marketing and engagement. So she does all of our events, our outreach,
anything,
emails, all the marketing. Yes, and works in the store.
And you guys put on races too.
Yeah, so we are Chrono Track race timers. And so we put on some of our own events, and then we time events. So we're subcontracted by nonprofits and race directors all over the area to time races as well.
How does that work out for you guys? Do you do pretty well with that?
Yeah, so we are one of the only race timing event companies in the area. There's a couple in Chattanooga, but it's a really big part of our business. That was hurt the most during COVID for sure, because of races were gone. But it's a big part of our business. We put on the Cleveland Half Marathon and 5K, which is now in the fall. And then we put on the Thanksgiving Day 5K, which is the only 5K in Cleveland on Thanksgiving. And it's huge. And I give all the credit to Thanksgiving, not me. I mean, it's just because it's Thanksgiving. But those are really big races for us. And then we just started a summer race series that will kick off this Friday.
Tomorrow.
And those are all events that we own. So we manage everything. And then we time between 20 and 30 other, mostly 5Ks, but other races in the area that we're hired to do. So we love it. It's a great support to the retail store for sure.
I do love half marathons. What's the Cleveland one like?
So it's great. We give a very big medal. So you have to go to clevelandhalf.com. Oh yeah, here they are. These are the 4 medals from the last 4 years. They're massive, and you get
wow.
too. It's the same medal. But it's really flat. It's October 1st now. It used to be in the spring before COVID. In October, we had to move it to the fall, and October turned out to be a better time of year for us here in Cleveland. But it's very flat, super fun, really great, like small town race. All the neighbors come out. We get volunteers from Lee University, which is here in town. Lots of student volunteers, so it's super fun. So yeah, this year will be our 5th Cleveland Half Marathon.
Yeah, that's nice. Now those buildings on that medal, are they like part of your downtown scene?
Yeah, so every building is one that you pass on the half marathon course. So this one is the chapel at Lee University that you pass. It's beautiful. And then the other 3 are downtown buildings that are on the course or close to the course.
I forget your downtown. I suffered a brain injury, so piecing some of this stuff together about your downtown. Do they all line up in a row, kind of like row houses, or are they like standalones?
They're all in rows, but our downtown is probably five or six square blocks.
Right.
So we've got lots of historic buildings. Terra Running Company is in an old historic building that we renovated, and yeah, they're all connected if they're in a row.
And then it kind of spreads out into like houses, like historic downtown
Yeah.
houses.
Yeah.
Okay, that's neat. So, oh man, you're a transplant to Cleveland, aren't you? Like, where did you come from?
I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, then through Atlanta. So I went to grad school in Atlanta and I taught public school there for a few years before I moved to Cleveland to open Terra Running Company 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I don't blame you because teaching is very low paid and very underappreciated.
Yep, it was tough. It was tough. I was ready for something new. And Tiffany is also from Pennsylvania.
She's the other side of the state. I came down to Cleveland to go to college at Lee and never left.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm from Youngstown, Ohio.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, that's about an hour, a little over an hour from where I grew up.
How'd you end up in Atlanta?
I did grad school at Georgia Tech.
There
Okay,
you go.
awesome. Very cool.
So I don't know where you did grad school. Is it like at Georgia State?
I did my master's at Emory, and then I did an educational specialist degree at Georgia State.
Oh man, a master's of teaching at Emory. Yeah, you should be really good at your job. It's a shame that they didn't pay you more.
I know, that's true. That's true. That's very true. Yep.
Okay. So what drew you down to Emory? Because I picked Georgia Tech. I picked 5 grad schools. I got into 4 and I'm like, okay, I got one family member in Atlanta. I'm like, this way, if something happens to me, I'll have an emergency contact there, but I'm going to, I need to get the hell out of Ohio. I don't know if it was like you for Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I went to my undergrad at Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, and I just wanted to go somewhere new. I had also applied to the University of Pittsburgh, which is where my family went, but I wanted to try something new. So the program at Emory was only 1 year. I think it was 4 semesters. So it wasn't a commitment forever to never move back to Pittsburgh, but it was a good opportunity to go somewhere different.
I did my freshman year at Pittsburgh, where I played water polo for them.
Oh, cool. Wow.
Except for I had too much fun partying and I had to transfer back in state.
Wow. Yeah. Water
Small
polo.
world, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So, why Cleveland, Tennessee, and what made you want to start a running company? Did you just like some of these things? Like when I pick races, I just throw a dart at a dartboard and it's like, okay, what's near there? Is that kind of what made you pick that location?
Yeah, so we are the only running specialty store between Chattanooga and Knoxville, and Cleveland's growing pretty quickly. We have a lot of industry. We have the university. It's a very inexpensive place to live, and it's growing rapidly. And so the numbers work. It's big enough to support a running store. And so I was living in Atlanta at the time, and wanted to try something new. I had been a runner forever. My dad ran marathons, so ran with him growing up, ran cross country and track in middle school and high school. So I was always kind of had one foot in the running community, but Cleveland just definitely seemed like it would work. I got hooked up with the owners of a bike shop that's been here in Cleveland for 30 years called Scott's Bikes, and they were renting the space next to them. And coming into a town like Cleveland, it's really helpful to be under the wing of someone who can vouch for you. And that was what Scott's was to Terra Running Company the first couple of years. We rented next to them. We shared a lot of customers, and they really helped us kind of get the store off the ground at the beginning. So having that connection was really helpful. It was a really good relationship because we shared a lot of the same customers, and that was integral in our success in a town like Cleveland, where a lot of people know everyone. Everyone knows everyone. So.
And now, what year were you founded exactly? Because you've been doing the races for 5 years.
Yeah, 2016, 6 years, whatever that is, 2016.
Didn't you start a store in Blue Ridge first,
Yes.
and that didn't work because running stores need a community?
Yep. Yeah, and so before the Cleveland store, we had a store for about a year and a half, almost 2 years in Blue Ridge, Georgia. And that was great, but once we had opened the Cleveland store, it was, the Cleveland store was doing super great, and it was too much too far away from each other. And so Cleveland really just has a great community of people that live here full time, unlike Blue Ridge, which is a little bit more of a tourist town. So moved in the direction of the Cleveland store and purchased this building in 2017 and renovated it. And the running store moved into here in 2018.
You know what? Even listening to you talk, you might even sound like your doppelganger a little bit. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to send you her Instagram profile.
Yeah, absolutely. Does she run?
Yeah, that's I met her through a running store.
Awesome. That's very cool. Yeah. Send me
Yeah.
too. Send it to me.
Yeah. Oh wow. And now, where did you come into the picture from, Tiffany?
Yeah, so like I said, moved to Cleveland to be a student. I am from the East Coast, so yeah, Southern Pennsylvania, 30 minutes north of Baltimore, Maryland, and just loved the area. So and loved Lee, and so once I graduated from Lee back in 2013, I started working there and worked there for almost 10 years, but was really starting to get burnt out on just higher education, and COVID happened and it was like crazy. We were quarantining students. I worked in residential life. So on-campus students, which is awesome, but also exhausting at the same time. And so I had decided to transition out, and my friend, our mutual friend, Allie, called me up, and because I got started running in college, actually. I did not run in high school. I didn't do track. I didn't do cross country. I played softball, and I love all sports. But my friend in college was like, hey, run this half marathon with me. And I was like, okay. So ever since then, I've been a runner, and I love running, run lots of halves, marathon, all this to say I love running. Our mutual friend, Allie, called me up, knew I was looking for a job, and said, hey, my friend Brittany is looking to hire someone. It's doing events, working with running, and Brittany also owns a coffee shop here. So the running store has a coffee shop and connected to it, which is literally, if you know me, coffee and running are two of my favorite things in the entire world. So Allie was like, you should go talk to her because running and coffee. And I was like, okay.
It sounds perfect.
Yeah. And I've been here ever since.
Yeah.
I saw that small business owner of 2022 with the coffee shop and running store.
Yep. Yeah. I won last week. I think I won the Cleveland Bradley County Chamber Small Business Person of the Year award. So that was a huge honor. And thankfully they told me ahead of time. Oftentimes with these big awards, they just surprise you. Like you go to the lunch and then they start like talking about you and you're like, oh.
That's not fair.
I was so glad they told me ahead of time. So we closed actually both stores and my whole staff came. I bought a table at the lunch, and I could make sure that I was dressed appropriately. I often come to I'm always like chronically the most underdressed person because I dress right for my industry. I need to be able to run or like fix a coffee machine at any time. So I was glad that I was able to choose my outfit. My family could tune in on the live stream, and my whole staff got to be there. So it was super fun.
She still wore running shoes.
Yeah.
Though, so they just matched her dress.
Right.
Yeah, when you shoot the picture, I don't even see the picture I thought I saw you can't even see your feet, right?
Okay, I'll have to send you a picture where you can see my feet. I stood on a stage and gave a speech, and I was like, I'm so glad I could get dressed up, and someone yelled something like, but you still have running shoes on. So I only get so dressed up.
What's your brand of running shoes, or do you not have loyalty to just one?
You know what I'm going to say. I don't have loyalty to just one. At the event, I wore the On Cloud Stratus. It matched my orange dress. I run in the Brooks Glycerin GTS. But if I think you have some history with running stores. You just get access to all of them, and you try on every kind of shoe. And so I'm not really allegiant to any one brand.
My running shoe, my primary running shoe is Pearl Izumi, and they dropped the run line in 2018. And I remember hearing from the Pearl Izumi reps that this was going to happen. So there was like a mad scramble between all us loyalists to buy out all the shoes. And I had like 15 pair. I still have like 6 left, but obviously they're deteriorating, and I got to go through them. But I got them for like $45 a pair. I'm like, yes, cheap shoes.
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't even know they made shoes.
Yeah.
Running shoes.
Yeah.
They dropped the run line in 2018, so they're a little bit old now. I had a neighbor who was an autistic teenager going through high school, and he's like, I joined the track team. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, well, here's some running shoes. You wear the same size as me, because they're all going to deteriorate before I ever get to use them.
They are. Yeah, they're not like shelf stable forever. Yeah.
No. And that's why I don't put 300 miles on them anymore. So I just kind of go through them.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, I would definitely do the Cleveland Half Marathon this year if I wasn't already committed to go to Memphis to do a half Ironman.
Oh, awesome. That's
Clear it
yeah.
across the other side of the state.
Yep. Very far away. Yeah.
Like it could, Memphis and Cleveland couldn't be any more different.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But that'll be fun. That'll be good.
Yeah, definitely. And so obviously you closed your Blue Ridge store. Do you plan on opening a second store again, or do you just want to focus on your coffee shop in this one?
Yeah. No, I don't want to open another store. These two businesses and our race timing company are plenty. We have our hands in a lot of different things in this community, and Tiffany even said, I don't know how you did it without me. And I was like, I don't know how I did it without her.
Everyone's always giving their ideas too. We've got
Yes.
this massive basement
that's
like not finished and stored in this whole building. Everyone's always like, Brittany, you should do this in the basement. You should do this in the basement. Yeah, I'm like, stop giving her ideas. We have to do what we're doing well.
Yeah. So that's exactly what we're trying to do, is just do what we're doing well. In the past year since Tiff joined the team, we've amped up our marketing and been a little bit more consistent with our weekly emails, and it's really shown. But there's so much more we can do here. So I don't want to bite off more than we can chew, and this is plenty. There's lots of upside here in the coffee shop and the running store. And so, yeah.
Which of the two is more profitable?
The running store is generally more profitable. The coffee shop is different. I'd worked at like Starbucks. I'd worked at an independent coffee shop, but it's very different than the run industry. We do a little bit of retail, but it's, mostly like service, and it's mostly food. We don't make our own food. We bring in pastries from a couple different local bakeries. So it's just very different. And the cool thing about being independently owned is we can try things out. If it doesn't work, we scrap it. Like, I don't have to run it by a board or, a franchise or things like that. We get to implement ideas that we want. And then if we don't like it, we can move on. So
yeah, that's kind of like how I run my YouTube channel. I do whatever I want with it. And the nice thing is, it started off as I have a traumatic brain injury from getting hit by a car. So it started off being for a TBI awareness channel with the video log that I created. And then I made the interview series as complement to it, because when people look at me, they identify me as not only a TBI survivor, but a triathlete. It's like, well, I want to interview people that I find interesting that applies to both worlds, because I met my ex-fiance through a running store. So I made, wherever I go, when I was traveling as a consultant before I had to leave my job, I would visit running stores and hop into group runs. And so that was part of my identity. And so I just wanted to incorporate all that into there. And then I'm like, okay, I want to make this new show about, I signed up for a race in Germany it's an iconic race called Challenge Roth. And, it's really hard for Americans to get a slot, and I got a slot. I'm like, I want to make a show about that. And I want to make it all the montages with German rock and all this stuff, So I get where you're coming from.
Yep. We just have an idea and we implement it. We just go for it. Yeah. That's how Terra Girls. I don't know if you watched our show, Terra Girls, at all. Tiff and I do a show on Facebook and YouTube, and that's kind of what we do is, let's go for a run this week, or
we made our own mugs. Today with our logo on it. I'm like, we're just pretending we're famous until it happens.
Right, exactly.
Just because we have fun with it.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Do you have other part-time employees too?
Yeah. So we have there's 2 other people that work for me in the running store, and then there are 5 people that work in the coffee shop.
I found at running stores, like the easiest employees to get are like the retirees.
No, we don't have any retirees. No.
They're looking for a part-time gig because they're bored, and
they're dependable and they're responsible. You're right. If anyone's watching this and is a retiree, come my way. No, most of our employees are in the coffee shop and the running store. Both are college students. So
graduated.
Or actually right now.
I think every single one of them is a recently graduated college student.
Yeah. But in general, almost everyone is either in college or right out of college, kind of that age. We're 2 blocks from the Lee University campus. So, yeah.
So what's do you guys involvement in trail running or any trail running races like that? Or you're just road?
No, we are involved in trail running. We just helped sponsor a last man standing race that an area park puts on. It's private property. It's called Johnston Woods Retreat Center. But they have about 4.5 miles of trails, and they do a last man standing race every year. So you do the 4.2-mile loop, you have an hour to do it. And then anytime you have left over, you can rest. And then you start on the hour every hour for as long as you can go. So that was a cool race that we were just involved in. Those are the closest trail system to us. And then we just both really love trails.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you always time, and it's not, we don't put it on, but you time the mountain bike race at Lula Lake. And did they have a road race or just
No, just a mountain bike race. We have timed out for about 5 years. It's a 50 and 25-mile mountain bike race on the trails at Lula Lake in northwest Georgia. Lookout Mountain. And yeah, so we're pretty involved in, we don't put on any trail races right now, but
yeah, have in the past. There are a lot of great trails here.
Yeah.
You're right next to Cherokee National Forest, and then you've got Chattanooga and all the mountains around there. So we do like trail running.
Yeah, we sell trail shoes. We have a selection of trail shoes also at the store.
What's your best seller of shoes?
In general, our best seller
in general.
Yep, is Brooks, the Brooks Ghost. As I think is the case in run specialty across the board right now. But yeah, we do super well we carry Ultra, Hoka. What we've done a really good job here in Cleveland with is not being brand specific, and people come to Terra Running because they trust us to fit them up. And so, you know, of course, there's the people who want to try a Hoka because their friend had one, or they want to try an On because they look really cool. But we really try to put everyone through the fit process as much as we can. Because, you know, we definitely find that customers are more satisfied with their shoes when they've been fit for them instead of just picking a cool one up based on color. So Brooks, but we love them all.
Yeah, we do get a lot of people come in for Hoka and On.
Yeah.
And then my favorite's Ultra.
Yeah.
The wider toe box.
Yep.
So I guess like the biggest question of all is, when you start a running company, how do you start one? Like, you know, other than I need a building, you know, and stuff like that. How do you start assembling all the pieces and getting vendors, and how does that process work?
Getting vendors is the hardest part. The run specialty industry is pretty selective on brands that what stores the brands will open. And so getting the brands to open you is the hardest part, as it should be, because, you know, a brand like Brooks and New Balance has spent a lot of money and a lot of time, you know, cultivating a certain quality, and they don't want to put their shoes in just any store. So getting a brand to open your store is kind of like a domino effect. Once you get some big ones, other ones will commit to you. And then, you know, apparel brands and accessory brands aren't quite as hard, but getting the big shoe brands that the customers who come to a run specialty store expect you to have is kind of the biggest challenge. And then, getting a location, signing a lease or buying a building, the build out, you know, making sure that you have, you look legitimate, you know, you have the furniture and the fixtures and it looks good in there. And then the most important thing to me is building my team. I don't want to work every hour the store is open anymore. I have for many years, but I want a team around me that can give me ideas or tell me my ideas are dumb and it's not worth it. I have a lot of those. Keep me honest, but help customers, create relationships with customers. I think building a team around you is the most important thing.
I thought you were going to say that new shoe smell.
Oh, you know, actually, we don't really have that. We have coffee smell. It's the same building, and there's like French doors, double doors in between the coffee shop and the running store. And so people walk into the running store and their first sentence is, "Oh my gosh, the coffee smells so good."
Yep, it is true.
Yeah.
They're like, "It smells so good in here."
Yeah.
So who was the first vendor to commit to you?
Oh, you know, I honestly don't remember. I don't know. Sorry, that's not it.
Do you have to like prove to them? Like,
yeah, I
this is
do.
why.
I do remember having a business plan and getting to know the local reps, depending on, and this was years ago, but it's, you know, it's generally up to the local reps if they'll open you. And if you're in a territory that doesn't already have a store, it's not any help to them to open a running store right next door to my running store in a town as small as Cleveland. So yeah, I remember a business plan, but I don't remember who was the first brand, or really I don't remember them. I don't remember that part.
She blocked it out. She blocked it out.
It was many moons ago.
Yep. Yeah.
So you run group runs too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Monday at what 5:30 and 6.
Mhm.
Run 2 miles each like time slot, so you can come for one, you can stay for all. And honestly, 2 of our friends in the community really are the ones that kind of got that going. Because we had group runs and we didn't have group runs, and then they came for a demo run. I'm thinking Hokum, we're like, this is the most fun thing ever, and so we've had that going ever since. It's been really great.
Yeah. It was called the Taco Trot because we started out going to tacos afterwards. But then like life gets in the way, people have to go. And so we weren't going to tacos anymore. And so we changed the name to the Terra Trot. So yeah, you can go from 2 miles to, we have people that run to the
They run
event.
to the store, so they get more miles, or they'll keep going afterwards. But
Yeah, but every Monday night, without fail, you can find us here running.
Well, does Cleveland have really good tacos? Like that's an important question for like dating. You know.
Yeah, we have a lot of taco places.
All
Like
right.
how small this town is, I can name you 10 places to get different kinds of tacos.
And they gotta have good queso too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
if you've ever heard of Dos Bros, it started in Cleveland. It's like a Chipotle style kind of, but it's better than Chipotle.
There's one in Marietta, actually.
So
They just
good.
opened their first one in Atlanta. So if you're ever up in Marietta, check out Dos Bros. They have about 12, 15 locations, and the first one was here in Cleveland.
When you lived down here, where did you live?
I lived in Druid Hills when I went to Emory, and then I lived in Roswell when I taught.
Okay. I live in Vinings. I've always lived in Vinings, in the Vinings area.
Awesome.
Yeah. So in the running store by me is called West Ride, and they're roughly like 3 miles down the road. I just can't run there because it's not safe to.
Right. There's a lot of roads in Atlanta you just couldn't run down.
Yeah, you can't run down 41. It's really, so I either drive there or bike there.
Yep.
What are your hours this weekend? Because I have to fly to Ohio to pick up a car to drive back, and I'll be coming down 75, so I can always take a detour if you're open to say hi.
Yeah. We're open Saturday 10 to 5 and Sunday 12 to 4. And the coffee shop is open 7:30 to 6 both days. 7:30 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Are you closed for Memorial Day?
No, we'll be open normal hours, 7:30 to 6 in the coffee shop, 10 to 6 in the running store.
I might be able to make that. I don't know. It all depends on how fast I drive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I'll be around.
Awesome.
So I'll get you out of here on this. What are your future plans?
Keep doing what we're doing. Yeah. Try to do it better and more consistently. But I think we've really hit our stride, and sales are growing and running is growing in Cleveland. And so we're gonna keep at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
I don't think I have more to add to that.
Well, hey, ladies, thanks for giving me your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. We
I
appreciate
think
it.
I can hear the coffee shop in the background. Can I?
Yeah, we're in my little office, but it's in the coffee shop.
Nice. At least you know it's sociable.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Enjoy the holiday weekend.
Thank
Okay.
you, Eric.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay.
Bye.